Afternoon all. I thought we could have a look at another game of Max Euwe from the Amateur World Championship of 1928. A few more of these, then we can have a look at the first World Championship match encounter he had with Alexander Alekhine, or Alekhine. I've just seen a documentary, and it's actually Euwe is actually pronouncing Alekhine's name similar to Dr. Alekhine. Okay, so anyway, moving on. So Becker as white kicks off with e4. There's some information around Becker. He's quite a good player. On ChessGames.com there's some information. He was awarded the IM title in 1953, actually. He was the Austrian champion in 1925. So this is 3 years after that. He was second at Vienna 1927. And actually, this is their earlier encounter. In the very next year, they played again, and I'll tell you the result at the end of this game of that game's results. Let's not spoil the results just yet. So Becker's a good player, and okay, so e5 from Max. After knight f3, knight c6, we see the Ruy Lopez. After a6, bishop a4. Knight f6, a solid system as black in the Ruy Lopez. After castles, black takes on e4. Okay, fairly standard move nowadays. d4, and now b5. Black has a very solid occupation of the centre still, and a very nice knight on e4 here at the moment. D takes e5, bishop e6, reinforcing d5. c3, and now bishop e7. Okay, bishop e3, black castles. It looks all fairly standard opening theory, and this is way back in 1928. The Ruy Lopez is a highly analysed theoretical opening, of course, and black has this system worked out to get a good position. Okay, so knight takes d2, queen takes d2, now knight a5. White preserves the light square bishop, pointing at the king here. Knight c4, queen d3, threatening mate. g6, bishop c1, preserving the dark square bishop and not wanting to go in with bishop h6 at the moment. Okay, that might fail tactically. In any case, the knight takes b2 there. We'll have a quick peek at that. I think black can just get away with knight takes b2 in this position. Queen moves and then move the rook, so that would be not so good, I think. Okay, so bishop c1 is played, and now bishop f5 gets rid of white's light square bishop. So I think black is on the verge of being equal here. Now f6. Okay, bishop h6 is played, shifting the rook off the f file, because if rook f7 there's e6. Rook has to go to e8. Okay, it seems. E takes f6, bishop takes f6. Right, so white still seems to have a good position here. Black reinforces the d5 pawn. Now knight d4. Okay, but white is faced with black, occupying that e file with the rook. Is he going to challenge the e file rook? Queen d7. Actually, he goes in for a bit of an attack now, instead of trying to contest the e file, which might be the more prudent approach. White plays rook d3 here. Let's just quickly get an engine evaluation. It seems a bit risky. Rook d3. There seems to be okay. It's about equal anyway, but okay. It's what happens after. Rook e4, rook g3. So white is sort of putting more pressure on g6 now. Okay, there's a lot of resources pointing at black's king here, but black just claims that e file now with rook a e8. I mean, I'm pretty sure the evaluation has just gone up for black, because he's just given possession of the file, really. If we just got an evaluation here, is it higher than 4? It is. I mean, I think maybe rook d3 is starting off on a bad foot and then continuing in that vein, just going for the king. You see that occupation of the file. I think black stands very well now. this is great flexibility to occupy the open file, and lots of entry points to attack both queenside and kingside. And the question is defensive resources, and if g6 is going to be a problem, if there's going to be a rook g6 maybe at some point. But okay, at the moment, f3 I think is ruled out here. I don't think f3 is actually possible. Possibly, let's check it out. But I think rook e2 might even be possible, because rook g6, maybe there's king h8. But let's actually check this out, why f3 is not possible. Okay, bishop takes d4. Now rook e2. Okay, so actually here there's no rook g6. I think this is harmless. Okay, this is a harmless situation. It can be defended in any case. Okay, so for the moment, let's go back here. So f3's not on the card. So white chases the knight instead, and now actually in this position, deciding to play f3. Okay, and we still get this mechanism taking on d4 first, then getting the rook e2 in. And just black's rooks are just more flexible than white. This is committing, leaning over rather awkwardly. It's like standing on one foot to try and attack the opponent's king, whilst black is perfectly control of the center is much more stable base. If there's no rook g6, there shouldn't be a big problem here. So this looks like another game that we've seen recently in this evolution series, where as black, it seems Max is getting positional trump cards as a kind of side effect of his opponents in this championship, going for his king. And this much more stable position black has, control of that e file, is going to give opportunities. So knight f5 now, and this bishop's attacked as well as d4. It's awkward to defend this position now as white. White tries rook g4, okay, because the bishop is protected by the queen at the moment, but he's losing that a2 pawn. Still goes in for his attack. So all is invested in this attack now, but these rooks can be versatile. They're doubling now on g2. So the question is black having time for his attack? But you think, because both rooks are involved, and this looks an awkwardly placed rook, and this rook's not really doing anything, hasn't black got the extra time to do something here? In the game, king h1 was played, but let's have a look if black was faced with h5 in this position, what would actually occur. If h5, okay, taking here, so say queen takes, we have queen takes g4, just celebrating both of the rooks on the 7th. We get a neat standard mating pattern. So that just shows, black's control of that centre file, but given free of charge from white when he started going on the wrong foot with rook d3, rook g3, has now culminated in these very strong tactical combinations. So white is having to be cautious now of this knight h6 and queen g4 mechanism. So he plays king h1, and okay, which avoids rook takes g2 being check in this sequence, this forcing sequence. But black does take on h6 anyway, and instead of queen g4 here, which is not working in this position, clearly it's not actually, because black would be getting mated on f8. No, but there is actually a tactical move that Max uses instead, still celebrating both of the rooks on the 7th rank. I wonder if you can spot it if I give you 10 seconds starting from now. Okay, rook takes g2, and this is neat, because if well, it's neat because let's rule out h5. We still have this fast mechanism of check, and now taking here would be mate, as well as if we play rook takes g2 here, than queen h3. Black's just quicker because he had the greater versatility. His attack's just quicker to get to white's king. But white is playing like without that rook. You know, black's got both his rooks going in for all these tactical variations involving mating white's king. So okay, so this is looking dire now for white. White tries queen f4. Now actually Max is not going to give up both his rooks for the queen in this position, although that does seem quite tempting. He plays actually rook takes g4, believe it or not, allowing white to even put both pawns together. He just wants queen e7 in this position, preventing mate, and also he wants to just exchange off queens. After h5, okay, he doesn't immediately rush to exchange off queens here, because maybe taking an h6 offers white a dangerous fawn pawn. Well, he actually first takes on h5, and after takes now queen e4. So he's just guaranteeing himself a nice ending with the ability to create an outside pass pawn. And actually, if we go over some other games from this championship, you'll see this theme being repeated, just going in for a safe ending with an outside pass pawn. Because in a way, his opponents, it's like outside of their interest zone. They're going for his king. The last thing they're thinking about is an ending, losing because of an outside passed a pawn. But you'll see this theme being repeated. So queen takes e4, d takes, and now this rook and pawn ending. Yes, it's dire for white. It doesn't matter how well white plays from here. It's just a dire endgame to transition to. So we have this outside pass pawn where it's really just a question of not losing both these pawns. These two connected pass pawns are very strong. They're supporting each other, and now the rook can just come behind that pawn, and here it's just winning, b2 winning. So in terms of style, but I don't want to. I'm not trashing Becker. In fact, we can have a look at the next year where Becker gets revenge. Actually, I'll say now, Becker got revenge the next year with a very nice attacking game on Max. So even with this apparently one-dimensional style which Max was exposed to in this game, you know, sometimes it does beat Max Euwe's style around this time on the lead up to 1935. And I think in fairness, yes, in fairness, we should have a look at that revenge game just for those interested in the next year in 1929. But let's just have a look at this in overview in summary again. The one-dimensional approach after the opening of going for the black's king did commit a lot of white resources and a bit of a loss of coordination and flexibility of white's resources, the way this attack was conducted. Even though it seemed in some way that that black had some weaknesses, if he's got the ability to exchange off the light square bishop with bishop f5, that's also very nice, because that's taking a lot of the attacking venom out of white's position. He slightly weakens his king's field though with f6, getting rid of white's centre, but you can look at this as a positional prelude to just trying to occupy that e-file and get that flexibility with both rooks working in both directions to sort of create tactical combinations later. That's really what we've witnessed here. And some, you know, this rook ad1 idea with knight d4, rook d3, the rook lift looks very ambitious and maybe is not treading too carefully here. So knight d4, clearing that third rank for the rook lift. It looks dangerous because the bishop's planted here and black has weakened the position, but he wanted that positional trump card. It's kind of subtle sometimes how a positional trump card does translate later into an attack here, how you go from this control of the central file to have attacking implications. And it needs good tactical skill to exploit the positional trump cards. Otherwise, black may well have ended up getting hacked, basically. So here, black's not getting hacked just yet. If white wants to play f3, it is at a big positional cost of bishop d4 and rook e2, this infiltration into the 7th rank, which would be quite unpleasant. So here the knight was taken back, but it's given, you know, also a nice option now. Knight f5 coming up, so f3, it just pastons white's position to the end. Actually, the f3 move here. Can white actually, for those interested, reassemble the position here, or is it really too late? It looks as though it might be too late, but say the rook just went backwards and swallowed its pride. Could black actually contest, you know, that central file? Well, possibly. You see the evaluation not going too high. If white can just get rid of a pair of rooks, that might change the picture and try and defend this. It might actually be, you never know, a tenable position. Although, you know, it's certainly not as bad as the game. So in the game, we do see the true horror of both rooks on the 7th being revealed here. So one rook coming in with tempo, and then snatching a pawn, ready, making way for the e2 square for the other rook. And once we get both rooks on the 7th, then we get these pretty strong combinations just in time to save black's king from an onslaught. So we see knight h6 and queen g4, just in time resource. You know, using both of the rooks on the 7th. You might actually consider rook e1 as a defensive try. I think knight takes h6 is strong, but no, let's actually check rook e1 here as well, in case you're wondering, well, was there anything apart from king h1? Okay, taking, oh, it just loses the bishop, pardon me, just loses the bishop. So white cannot contest the file here. So king h1 might actually be one of the better moves in the circumstances now. The damage has really been done. The positional trump card now becoming a fearsome, aggressive trump card of both rooks on the 7th, which it seems an untenable pressure now. So rook takes g2. Okay, so he's 2 pawns up now. And then he doesn't mind simplifying here. Just out of interest, rook h2, I think also, I can't see the rooks coordinating. Rook h2 might also be a good move here, because in this particular situation, can the rooks really coordinate against the queen and 2 pawns? I think the queen could do very well here with the outside pass pawns. This is still better for black, but the way he played it was it much more clear cut, I guess. Just going for the queen exchange. Very difficult to do anything about a full exchange. If rook f2, then queen e1 check, just take everything off, then a5 will win with that passed outside pawn, or just coming in here for queen e4. Okay, so it's just a hopeless ending which white has with the outside passed pawns now. But yeah, in the interest of fairness, let's have a look at the revenge game of these two in the next year of 1929. Okay, comments or questions on YouTube? Thanks very much.